Hello, this is Pink Shorts, everybody. EOC 14.14.14.14.14. Good morning, everybody. We have exclusive video to show you. Let's get right to the video. This is exclusive only on Pink Shorts. We've got an exclusive here. This is live on Pink Shorts. We received anonymous video on our website. Anonymous. We received anonymous video here on Pink Shorts. Uploaded to our website mysteriously. Divorce, we have another video of you fellas and Paredes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Josh.
All in a good mood?
Can you confirm who uploaded this video?
Yes, I've changed back into my civilian clothes, which is a coat and tie. Occupational hazard, I think.
This is an
I
exclusive
do not have anything at
assault.
the top, so we can go straight to your questions. Kevin, you want to start?
Sure. Josh, in keeping with the President's trip to
Exclusive video here.
regarding the Affordable Care Act,
Who is this?
is the President alarmed about the premium increases that many people are seeing?
They have the other video. Where's the other video?
Major insurers exiting the program.
Who's filming my client in his sleep?
And is it a sign that some changes are needed?
Well, Kevin, the President has been clear that the
Who's filming my
Affordable
client?
Care Act
And who was that in the
has
background?
had enormous benefits for Americans all across the country. Since the Affordable Care Act
Who's
went into
filming
effect,
video on no cell
we
phone?
have seen the overall growth in healthcare costs
Mr. Ents, would you like to
held down.
confirm that?
We have seen 20 million Americans get access to health care.
This is the Married with the Law
previously have access
exclusive.
to health insurance before the Affordable Care
Only
Act.
here on Pink
And
Shorts,
we have seen
EOC.
millions of Americans all across the country benefit from consumer protections.
We have to
that they've
screen
long
all
been denied.
participants this
These are
morning.
Consumer protections
All
that
screenshots, all photos,
protect
all shows. Please
people from having to
answer
declare bankruptcy,
appropriately.
because they
What happened
essentially
this morning?
exceed the lifetime limit that's imposed.
Today's the
on
Married with the
by
Law
their health
Inc.
insurance
production,
company. Those
America's
lifetime
first singing attorney.
limits
Married with the Law sounds wonderful,
individuals cannot
the
be
way it should have
discriminated
been.
against
Retroactive
because they
law
have a
besides
pre-existing condition.
everything.
So these kinds of consumer
I'm very
benefits
excited to do
have,
today's show. I'm
not
wearing
just
savvy
helped
from
those
head to toe.
Americans
Divorce is
who are
avoided.
health insurance
I did everything you
before.
wanted me to do.
Those are consumer protections that also
We're
benefit
wanted. It's on the vest.
that
Audio
get
experience, a love
insurance
song.
through their
Motivational speaker.
So those kinds of
Richest man in
benefits
America.
are
Universe
obvious
world.
benefits of the Affordable Care Act.
Galaxy. Pink the short
And,
way. I saved all your files and screenshots.
you know,
Save me
obviously,
some of that peach
all
cobbler.
critical
Highest
reasons
spacing
why
in
the
the
President
world.
fought so hard to
Tweet us
pass
via
this
early
law.
late at
Now, I think
FRESH
your
underscore
policy is something that the
JORDNZ.
President
Sexual
is
harassment
supported,
has improved
which is
every 20
that
minutes of the hour. Remember, 311. Autism
tweaks to the
screening
law that
process.
could be implemented
Us being allowed
that
in a
would
3-ounce size
further
container.
improve performance.
American.
And the President has
United.
laid out
Fly
some
with
ideas
us
for
at
what
Virgin
those limits would
America.
look like,
My
including
frequent flyers card begins with pound
further
422.
enhancing competition in the marketplace by
We're missing the 2 in
allowing
our
the
phone
creation of
numbers
a
as well.
option. That would that added
Out is
competition
in.
in all 50
Remember,
states would,
18 USC 2511.
we believe, have the
Intercepting
effect of
wire or an electronic
further
communications
challenging
prohibited.
private health insurance
The
companies
challenge
to
has
improve
been
their offerings and
successful.
reduce their
We're all
prices.
subpoenaed.
So these are the kinds
You're
of things
sleeping with
the
them
next
even if
Congress
you're
will
not
have to
here.
consider. Obviously,
Your
the current
show's on.
Congress is one that's dominated by Republicans who have voted
We're
more than
watching
50 times to
Divorce
repeal
only
the
from
law,
Time Warner
but have not
Cable.
once in the last 6 years actually put forward their own alternative proposal. So
I need a
it's
definition
clear
of
that
remote
Republicans in
desktop.
Congress don't share the president's interest in trying to improve our healthcare system in this country. Maybe
Well,
the
all
next
we can
batch
say
of
is that
members
if you're
of Congress
watching the
will,
video, you're
and
with,
hopefully
you
we'll
know,
have a president like the candidate that President Obama has
like the
endorsed,
candidate President
who is
Obama,
determined to
determined
build on the remarkable
on
success
the
of
remarkable
Affordable Care.
success
But would
and
a public
reclining.
option bring insurers like United and Aetna back into the program? What in particular is the administration thinking the next president, the next Congress should do to bring
Hello, media. How are
insurance back into the
you?
program? Isn't that the
We're
best
watching
sign
Divorce
of a healthy
only on HBO.
Affordable Care Act if you have more insurers coming in rather than exiting?
I wish I could do the
Well, potentially
ceremony.
that is
Yeah, I wish I
well,
could
I think what we're
do.
talking there. I think there are two different questions. The first is one way that
I
you can have
don't.
competition is essentially
No, you
to
got it. He doesn't.
add another
I don't.
entity that's committed to competing
That's
in markets
committed
all across the
to
country, and that's exactly what the public option
half of our
Uh,
income.
would
Would
do.
what avoid?
The question question
Today's
is,
show
are
is
there other
sponsored by
tweaks that you
Visa.
could make
Everywhere you wanted
make
to
it,
be with them.
more attractive
More
to
attractive.
some of the companies that you mentioned to engage more
To
deeply in
investigate a subpoena
in the
on
marketplace.
a recliner chair
So the
falling.
public option is not the only
Follows and
suggested
paredes.
tweak that the president
Yeah, let's
would
read some
consider.
tweets.
But again, this is not something that he's going to be in a position to consider.
In a
because we
position
already
to
know that this
consider.
Congress is not going to act on
Josh,
it.
can you confirm this video? Who
but there-
uploaded it?
The president has in mind there could be
Cue the
additional
video,
tweaks that could
please.
be made that would further enhance competition in the
Josh,
marketplace. And
Can the
again, this
NSA
is sort of
confirm who
rooted in a
uploaded this
principle
video
that's
to
long
our
been
site?
championed by Republicans. This idea of the free market driving the
Josh,
health
can you confirm who
insurance
uploaded this video?
industry in a way that ends up being good for
They
consumers.
have another
It has to be
video of
regulated,
Pasquale's Paredes
but you regulate it in a way that promotes
and a zipper jacket,
competition, and that kind of
Snowden
competition
jacket. We never
can
bought
be
it.
good for consumers.
For
And
$17.99.
we've seen that. But there is more that we can do.
Yeah,
to
we never
further
bought the
improve.
$17.99 Polish Paredes
Secretary
Dustin
Burwell said
jacket.
today that she expects 1.1 million more people to sign up on the exchanges.
We never bought
this
it.
Year. That's out of about 10.7 million people who are uninsured who are eligible. How does the White House
We're watching
feel about
Divorce
that
only on
level
HBO.
of, expected enrollment, 1.1 million out of 10.7.
Today's show is sponsored by this. Everywhere you wanted to be with
Well,
them.
the 1.1 million increase, I believe, is an increase of 8 or 9%
Come
over
on.
over last year. So we're
Over
talking about
last year?
1.1 million additionally
Additionally,
enrolling during the open
enrolling.
enrollment period this year. I believe last year we ended up somewhere
We don't know.
between 13 and 14 million.
13 and 14 million.
So,
So
that represents a
that
continuing
represents a
increase
subpoena that
in the
industry.
number of people who are
We're
enrolling for
divorced.
health insurance through the marketplace. And this goes to
We could have rolled over in a
the
train
question
track.
that Kevin raised.
At
which is the
Culver,
more
at
people that are
Expo.
competing in that market,
With that
the,
Verizon phone.
more attractive
More attractive.
it is to
It is to
companies that are engaged in that kind of business, and the more
30
companies that are engaged
years.
in that business who are competing
who are competing
for that pool of
with
customers,
a tort claim.
the more pressure
Tort
we're
claim
going
was
to put on
here.
prices to
Damages in sum,
not
certain
increase
for
at the
any
same
injury,
rate. We're also
to
gonna put
loss of
pressure on those
property,
companies to improve their
personal
offerings.
injury, or death alleged to have occurred by
Competition is,
reason of the
an
incident.
important
The
part
claim
of
must be
what
represented
the
to the
Affordable Care
appropriate
Act
federal
is.
agency. 2 years of signing your life will after the
Focus on.
claim accrues.
Prior to the Affordable
Failure
Care
to
Act going into
completely
effect,
execute
you'll
this
recall,
form
there was no such
or
thing
to
as a
supply the
marketplace.
requested
And
material,
individuals
it
who
is
weren't able
within
to
2
purchase health
years from
insurance
the
through their
date of claim
employer,
accrued
which I'll remind
may
you
render
is
your
the vast
claim
majority of
invalid.
people who
A claim is being presented
currently
when it is received,
have health
accrued
insurance.
by the life
But for
signer,
those who
away
are
by of the appropriate
on the
agency,
individual market,
not
they
if
will
it's
defend for
mail.
themselves. And there was not a mechanism in place to regulate the offerings that
to
were put
regulate the
forward,
offering.
by individual insurance companies in a way that
In a
allowed
way.
individuals
Individual.
to effectively compare
Effectively.
offerings from different companies.
We've signed it away.
So
So
you know, these are the kinds of
These are the kinds
improvements
of
on a
deals you
system
make.
that was largely unregulated,
largely,
in a way that
In a way.
disadvantaged consumers. But you know, the kinds
but
of tweaks that we're
the
talking
tweaks
about
that
here
we're
are
talking about
tweaks that
here
would further regulate this market in a way that
further
would enhance
regulate
competition and improve the
and
ability
improve
of
the
individuals
ability
to go and purchase
purchase
health insurance in the individual
health
market.
insurance.
But by
In
calling
the
it a
last
tweak,
episode of
I mean,
Notorious.
setting up a public option sounds like more than a tweak. Wouldn't that be a major
We have to subpoena
legislative
all
and
shows.
administrative undertaking?
Today's show is sponsored by Divorce on HBO.
Well, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
By calling it a tweak, doesn't it sort of underplay or downplay?
We've invited
the
you
amount
if
of
you don't
legislative and administrative
don't
work
want to be here.
it would take to
We're
set
watching
up
your
a
shows. Supergirl.
option?
I don't mean to. I don't mean to downplay.
I don't
that.
mean
think
to
that this would be,
downplay.
an
This would
important
be
change that would improve
Important
the system.
change.
But I also
But I also
wouldn't exaggerate the
wouldn't
kind
exaggerate.
of change that this would necessitate.
Change?
So many of the changes that
So many of the
went
changes
into effect as a result
went
of the
into
Affordable Care
effect.
Act were difficult to implement.
Were difficult to
because of the
implement
significant
because of the significant
changes that it brought to this
gyms that
individual,
we are.
to the regulation of this
molesters.
individual market. And
And we're
adding an
registered
additional
offenders.
offering is a substantial change, but it doesn't reflect
And we're not waiving.
you know,
a
a
registered
complete
offenders.
overhaul, if you will, of the
It's Bin Laden.
marketplace mechanism that was put in place by the Affordable Care
Good
Act.
morning,
I'm
America.
sorry, I was distracted in answering your question.
Yeah, good
because
morning,
there's one other
America.
element to this that of this
This
debate
is
that I think is
Fulton.
relevant. Two
Good
other elements,
morning.
actually, the first is
Good morning,
So much of what we're talking about
America.
when we're
How
talking
are
about competition, when
you?
we're talking about prices, there has understandably
Vote, are you
been
registered?
an intense
Yeah, I'm
focus
registered to
on
vote
the increase in costs in the individual market. These are
in the
individuals who have to
enterprise. I'm
purchase their health
registered.
insurance during this open
Are
enrollment
you registered to
period
vote in
at
enterprise?
healthcare.gov and
Vendor.
marketplaces.
Vendor. Yeah, I'm
The
registered to
vast
vote
majority of
in Fender
Americans, again,
Bender.
150
At the
million
same time.
Americans, get their health insurance through their
Josh,
employer.
is this true?
And 5 out of the last
5 out of the
6
last
years,
6 years.
we have seen
We have
that
seen minus
the growth
the
in premium
growth
increases
increases.
is the lowest it's been
The
on record.
lowest it's been in the record.
So we've seen about 3%
So we've seen about
increases
3
in premiums
in
among
premium
people who get their health
among
insurance
people
through
who
their
get their lung
employer.
insurance.
That represents
That
tangible
represents
progress
progress
in limiting the growth in
and
healthcare
limiting the
costs in a
growth
way that benefits
in
both
the way that
employers
benefits
and employees.
the American people
That is one often overlooked benefit of the Affordable Care Act.
after
And
taxes.
again, I think there should be, and the president believes
I
there
think it
should
should
be
be.
focus on
Focus on
what we see in terms of rates in
what
the
we've
individual market.
seen in terms
But
of
it's
individual
important
markets.
to recognize that
To
10 times as many
recognize and
people
recline
get their health insurance through their employer.
their
And the
employers.
impact that we've seen in keeping
They made
the
a
growth in
video
healthcare
and hacked our
costs low,
website.
the lowest on record.
They've hacked
by
our
the last 6 years,
tube.
is
Where's the
a
other
remarkable
video,
benefit
Mr.
of the
Peavy?
Affordable Care Act.
The
The
Affordable
second
Care Act.
thing is when you're talking about these marketplace consumers, individuals who
Individuals
purchase their health
purchase the
insurance
health.
through the marketplace.
They walked away.
Even though we are seeing cost increases all across the country, the fact of the matter is we do expect that
We do
next year,
expect.
more than half of the people who seek to
We don't
purchase
expect
health insurance
anything.
plans through the marketplace
We
will be
pass,
able to do
pass,
so
pass, pass.
for $75 a month or less.
$500 billion.
And the reason for that is that even though we are seeing an increase in costs in some states,
We're leaving.
the government subsidy that goes along with those costs
Where they
also
staying? So
increases
we gotta
to limit costs for insurers
gotta
to
go.
make healthcare affordable for people. So,
for people. So
this is something I do
you know,
anticipate that
it's
we're going to
timeless
be talking about quite a
on
bit
NBC.
during the fall. So
During the
I
fall.
appreciate your interest in this, and
I
obviously the
appreciate
president
your interest in
will be
NBC.
discussing this
Timeless.
in Miami tomorrow. But we'll have an opportunity to discuss.
We'll have
more
an
tomorrow.
opportunity to talk.
And just briefly, is he going to Miami to give this speech tomorrow?
We're all
For some
trapped.
thematic reason having to do with Obamacare, or is it just related to the other travel that he's doing?
No, it's for
Hello,
thematic
media.
reasons
How
is
are
that,
you?
We are essentially within about 10 days of
Right.
the open enrollment beginning.
What does Miami or
Well, there's
It's
a large
ending. Thank
population in
you.
Miami of young people in particular that we want to make sure understand the kinds of benefits that are available to them through the Affordable Care
The
Act.
Affordable Care Act.
Having covered our efforts over the 2 previous years,
Two
the last
previous
few
years.
the 3 previous years,
The
of
3
trying
previous years.
to raise the awareness among young
Raise
adults
the
across
awareness.
the country, we have sought to target
We have sought to
those
target.
communities across the country that have a
It's not
larger
target. It's the other
proportion
one.
of young people who are eligible for
Of
coverage
young
in the
people
marketplace,
eligible
but have not yet taken
for
advantage of
Jordan.
it. Florida is also a particularly
Also,
powerful
particular
illustration
illustration.
of the situation because we've seen Republicans in the state of
Republicans
Florida block Medicaid
block
expansion.
Medicaid.
And what we have seen,
And
and
what we
studies
have
show,
seen,
even studies that are not conducted by the government,
not conducted by the
indicate
government,
that those
those
states
states
that did not expand
did
Medicaid,
not expand,
where you had Republicans who blocked the expansion of
blocked the
Medicaid,
expansion.
we did actually see healthcare costs for everybody
We
else
did
go
see
up.
healthcare costs,
And we've seen costs in the marketplace increase an additional 7%
an additional
in those locations in those states
those
that
states
didn't expand Medicaid.
didn't
So
expand
I recognize
Medicaid.
that there is,
Hello, Twitter, we love you.
look,
I
in
love
some
you,
ways
pal.
you could actually describe this as an effort by Republicans to sabotage the Affordable
And George
Care Act.
Zimmerman,
Because you have
because we have
in
Republicans,
individual states
individual states,
essentially preventing
essentially preventing
some people from getting health insurance
do.
that's paid for
Paid
by the
for
federal
by the
government
federal
through
government.
Medicaid, or almost entirely
I
paid
almost
for
entirely
through the federal
through
government,
the federal government,
through Medicaid.
through Medicaid.
That's having a negative
That's
impact
having a negative effect
on the ability
We
of
just started
other
the chair
people to
farming.
afford
to afford
healthcare through the Affordable Care Act.
healthcare through the Affordable Care Act.
So it's it's unfortunate
Again,
the degree
he's
to which
suggesting with
Republicans
us.
have
Hello,
chosen to play
Josh X.
politics with the Affordable Care
We
Act
just
in a
started the
way
chair.
that has not just prevented
Not just prevented
millions of people across
millions
the
of
country from being
people
able to get access to
to
health
get
care through
access
expanded Medicaid,
to
but
Medicaid.
also driving up the costs
Driving
of
up. We started the
millions
chair
more
farming
Americans because of their political
because
decision
of their
to
political
block
decision.
Medicaid expansion. Okay, Mark.
Josh,
Matt.
in politics, can I follow up on the president's stop whining comments from
This is a
yesterday?
EOC exclusive. We're suggesting live.
The other part
Here's
of the
the chair
question I
again.
don't think he answered was, is the administration
Is he the
concerned about
administration
post-election violence?
post-election?
And frankly,
Frankly,
that question by saying, is
the
the
chair is falling.
administration making any kinds of contingency plans?
Well, Mark, I think the president,
I
as he
think-
did,
As he
he
did,
alluded to this in his
Alluded
answer
to
yesterday.
this.
The president retains
significant
confidence in
confidence
the strength and durability
in the strength and
of
durability
the U.S. election
the
system.
U.S. elections. The chair is falling.
You know, we have typically talked about that in the context of
In
what
the
the IC
context,
has concluded
IC has
about
concluded
Russia's efforts to try to
Efforts,
undermine confidence in that system.
confidence in that
But
system.
the president believes there's a lot of people, that
Chan-
there are many
Fathers
reasons for the American
Paredes.
people to have confidence in the integrity
Fathers.
of that system,
Of that system.
even in the face of some of these
Even in the face of who's
Russian-led
around
efforts.
us.
But even separate from
But
that,
even separate,
there has been a concerted effort
there's been
by
a concerted
at least
effort,
one candidate
at least
to
one candidate,
talk down the U.S.
cap down
system of democracy.
Olympic.
And that's unfortunate.
That's
and,
unfortunate.
That was the substance of the president's
That was
comments.
the YouTube video
yesterday.
only.
I think the president is pretty confident
President's
that
pretty confident,
not many people
that
will
was
be
set.
persuaded
persuaded.
by
Chairs falling.
an effort to
An
run
effort
down the
at installs. We have chairs
U.S.
there too.
System of elections.
System
and I'll
of
just point out
elections.
that over the last
Over
3-4
the last,
days,
it's Talina Berry in the
seen
left
the
seat.
running mate
Installed.
to the Republican
Chairs
nominee
falling.
indicate that he would respect the outcome of the
Indicted.
election. And earlier today, we saw the
And earlier
campaign
today,
manager
Gold
for the
Line
Republican nominee
avoided.
indicate her confidence in the
Indicated.
integrity of our voting system.
Chairs
So,
falling.
I don't know if they need to have a staff meeting or maybe more broadly circulate a memo. But
Chairs falling.
I think the comments of the
I
running
think the
mate
comments
and the campaign manager
And the campaign
I think
manager
reflect the sentiments of
reflected they knew
Americans in both parties
Americans
who believe that
who
our
believe
democracy benefits from the vigorous
were watching divorce on
conduct of an
HBC,
election.
HBO.
But we also benefit from an acceptance
Chairs
of the
falling.
result, an acceptance of the expression
An
of the will
acceptance
of the
of the
American
expression of the
people
will of the American
commitment
people.
by leaders in both parties
Leaders in both parties
to follow the will
to follow the
of the American
will.
people. And this was an important part of the president's answer that I do think was
I
a
do
little
think
overlooked, which is the
overlooked.
president articulated,
Articulated
despite his vigorous disagreements
vigorous
with Mr.
half a
Trump, that
trillion
we in no
dollars.
way sought to minimize, the president
The
did pledge
president
that if the American people do
Trump.
make a decision
decisions
to
to
entrust Mr. Trump
trust Mr. Trump
with the powers of
with the powers
presidency,
of yeah.
the president would
Dabba,
fulfill
dabba,
the commitment that he has
Dabba,
made
dabba, 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 dabba.
to ensure the
To ensure
successful and smooth transition of power in our democracy.
Power in our democracy.
Our system of government and our democracy
Democracy.
depends on people who serve in
Chairs
positions
falling.
of power who are willing to put the interests of the American
With the
people
interests of the American
over their
people.
own.
Believe their own.
And the president has strong feelings
The
about the
president has
outcome of this
strong
election. But if
feelings.
the American people disagree,
The American
the
people
president's prepared
disagree
to honor the will of the American people.
of the American
Hopefully
people.
that's not going to come about.
Hopefully that's
but,
not going to be a sorry.
I think that's a reflection
a
of the
reflection
president's commitment to this issue, that
of
he's
a
willing
sorry
to exercise his
And
own
the waiver
significant
respect.
authority, consistent with
authority consistent
the
with
approach he's hoping that
the
everybody else will take.
approach.
My
We're not
question was
approaching
about
them.
violence specifically.
We're just going to film
And we-
them. Olympic
Our
station.
colleagues
We're
who are
filming.
out at
Nothing.
campaign rallies and such, here. and
We
see
can't
people
approach them.
Talking and
Touch the
holding
earth.
signs, talking about taking
We can only
action
film
of
them.
one sort or another. If there's an outcome that they don't believe is credible, is that something that the president?
Chairs falling.
Well, I think anytime anyone is
Chairs
talking
falling.
about using violence to
Using
advance
violence
a
to advance political
in one
role.
form or another, the president is concerned about that. The
Concerned
president believes
about
there's
that.
no place for that in our
There's no
democracy. In
place in our
fact,
democracy.
our system of government, our
Our
democracy
system of
was
government
established
established
to,
to,
in an ideal world,
an idea real,
aid our ability
Chairs
to
falling.
resolve our differences through debate
through
and
debate
negotiation, and not
and negotiation,
without resorting to violence.
empire.
And so, there have been instances of
We're watching
where
Empire.
violence has broken out at particular rallies. We saw
Double day.
a campaign office in North Carolina, a Republican
Double day.
campaign office in North Carolina
North
that
Carolina.
was vandalized. And
Double
the
day.
president hasn't, didn't get asked about it yesterday, but I'm confident his views
I'm confident
are
his views
consistent with what I expressed here on Monday, which is to condemn
expressed on
that
Wednesday
kind of
night
vandalism, to condemn that kind of violence.
to condemn that kind of
and
violence.
That is consistent with
Double
the
day.
president's view that it is not appropriate to resort to violence to achieve a
Triple day.
And is the president's concern sufficient that some sort of contingency planning is or ought to be?
It's
underway?
14, 14, 14, 14.
I'm not aware of any sort of
I'm not
contingency
aware.
planning that's currently underway. Obviously, the president's going to rely
President's
on
gonna rely
law enforcement organizations and the
enforcement.
Department of Homeland Security
Department of
to
Homeland
make
Security.
recommendations to him
Double day.
if any recommendations are necessary. Obviously,
You know,
there
obviously,
is, a long tradition in this
long
country of
tradition,
law enforcement
law enforcement,
decisions being made at the community level.
double,
And, obviously, we'd expect that
$3.99,
local law enforcement organizations would take the
Super
steps that they
full,
believe are appropriate to keep the peace in their
a
communities.
double sandwich.
But I'm not aware of any specific planning that's been
Anyway,
undertaken
specific planning.
with
We
regard
spoke
to
to
that
Sarah
potential
Jessica
outcome at
Parker
this point.
live,
But we're also still
and
3
Jake
weeks out from election day,
Gregorian.
so we'll continue to monitor this
We'll
situation.
continue
and if,
the Visa card
we
everywhere
need
you want to
engage
be.
in some contingency planning, then we'll do that. Okay, Jordan.
George.
Thanks, Josh. On a separate but related topic,
Today's show is sponsored by Mary the A Law, America's first singing attorney.
is on the rise, and the report linked that abuse to supporters of Donald Trump. And I'm wondering if
We're
the
watching you
president
as
aware
well.
of this phenomenon, and how much, if so, how much
Only on
responsibility
TV,
does he
guys.
think that Trump shares?
Let's go over TV listens. We're watching them as well.
I saw some news coverage of the report. I didn't read the report itself. What
Report himself.
the president
The
has
president
expressed
has
again to all of
expressed
you on a number of occasions his
H&M,
concern
zipper
about
pants,
the kind of rhetoric that has been
$7.
so carelessly
So
used
carelessly
in the context
used.
of this election season.
It's election season.
The president understands
The president
that
understands
the stakes in this election
the
are high,
stakes
and
of
that
this election
he
are
would
high.
expect people to engage in a
We're
vigorous
Regis
debate.
Philbin.
That debate should be carried out
Come
consistent
on
with the
ABC.
values in this country that we cherish, and those values include not targeting or discriminating
Tommy
against people
Martinelli.
because of their religion.
Administration has worked with Twitter
Yeah, we're
on
Regis
shutting
Philbin.
down channels related to ISIS and other extremist groups. In this instance, does the administration believe that Twitter should be doing more to curb
watching
this
the
kind of
Voice on
abusive
HBO.
language on its platform?
Well, obviously the is deeply
The
respectful
administration is
of
deeply concerned. The
authority
Good
that
Morning
Twitter
America.
should exercise in
We're live
controlling
with Register.
or at least protecting the freedom of people to
And
use
minor.
Twitter to express their views.
Yeah,
I know that,
registering
that Twitter
minor.
has faced many of their
Alive.
own questions about where to draw the lines.
And Good Morning America.
Where do you draw the line from
Good morning.
freely expressing your view to
Good morning, everybody.
advocating violence or inciting
morning.
violence in one form or another? So these are difficult questions.
These are difficult
but
questions.
they also link directly to
They've also linked directly
the First Amendment rights of
the
American
First Amendment
citizens.
rights.
So
So I
Twitter
think our
has,
dreams are true.
assumed this responsibility, understanding how
Understanding
serious this
how
question
serious this uniform is.
and they have frequently
Most
responded
men are honest,
constructively to a desire
and we have
on
to
the
take
part of
that
the
into
administration
consideration.
to make it harder for
Most
terrorist
men are
organizations
honest.
to incite violence.
Double
using social media
sandwiches
platforms
today.
Like Twitter. I think the questions are a little bit different when we're talking about the
I love
tone
double
and rhetoric that's
sandwiches
used in the context
for
of a political
$4.
debate.
Uh,
But
you
know,
told
I
us to
know
get
that
a
these are
double
questions
sandwich
that Twitter has
yesterday.
carefully considered and
You told us.
has tried to
You said it in
has
our
tried to confront,
skull.
both because of the responsibility that
You
they have
should
to
get a
all of their
double day
users, but
sandwich
also
for
because
$4.
the
And then we
success
fell
of their platform is going to
backwards.
depend on them establishing
You
some rules of
told
the road
us
that
in
are
our
fair.
skull.
They certainly don't want to preside over a platform
You
that
told us.
muzzles dissent, where you have people who are
You told us to get a double sandwich.
taking a platform that should be
You
used
told
to
us.
freely express one's views,
One's view.
and ultimately shut down
Ultimately shut down.
the ability of individuals
The
to express
ability
those
of the
views. But on the
individual.
other hand,
On the other
they're going to
hand,
have a hard time recruiting people to
recruiting
join
people.
and participate actively in the Twitter community.
Verizon,
The
small businesses,
Twitter community is littered
medium and enterprise businesses,
with
government,
violent images and rhetoric.
technology solutions.
Okay.
Only on Verizon.
Judge, do you have any reaction
I got my intro with Verizon.
to the invitation to his half brother to be at the debate tonight for the
We're
Trump
registered in
campaign?
Minor
I
Live.
haven't spoken to him about it, but
Bin Laden.
I don't anticipate that the
Regis
president will spend a
Philbin. We
lot of
love
time
Regis Bin Laden.
considering whether or not his brother-in-law should attend the debate. If he does choose to
Thank you,
attend,
Fox
hopefully he'll do something
News
more
this
fun than
morning.
just attend the debate.
Can you describe their relationship?
Monte.
I don't know. I don't know much about it. My understanding is
We
that they're
can't
not
Monte with any of you.
On these schedules
Tuesday and
tomorrow,
Wednesday.
Which kind comes first?
Telephone.
in the planning of tomorrow's
Today's
trip.
show sponsored
Was
by
it the,
Verizon.
Obamacare
Thursday
effect or the
telephone,
political
small
effects?
businesses,
Well, Mark, you
medium
recall
and
that this was
enterprise
actually
businesses,
a trip
and
that the president
government
had
tech solutions. Only
previously
at
planned to
Verizon.
take to Florida earlier this month.
To
But
double
there was a
day.
reschedule
Hello.
as a result of Hurricane Matthew.
It's
that was predicted
Wednesday.
to make landfall.
What else would you do it?
And we wanted to ensure that
We
the
wanted to.
president's
Today's show
trip
sponsored by
didn't disrupt
Visa.
any of the
Everywhere you wanted to be with them.
activities that were underway to plan for the eventual landfall of the hurricane.
Switch to Verizon and get up to $650.
In the context of that
Use your
trip, the
thumb.
president planned
Trade in
to
your
deliver a
phone
speech,
and get a better network.
in Tampa.
It's
just
the
for sake
easy
of
way.
slimming down the
Use
trip
your
and making
thumb
it
and
more
use your
efficient.
smartphone.
He'll
Only
deliver
at
that speech in Miami
Verizon.
instead, but he'll also we've also rescheduled
Verizon support.
the political activities of the president.
Amanda
previously,
and Miss Bodak
planning
from
to
Food Sense.
leave office.
We appreciate your patience, but apologize for the delay. Please DM us so that we can check the order status for you.
That's my understanding,
LHM
but,
line.
obviously, it's complicated because we had
It's
originally planned
complicated to divorce.
then. So in the rescheduling of the
So
trip, I
in the
guess I would say,
reschedule,
we planned
the
to both because
re-air,
both
what
of
do you
them
plan to
were
do?
part of the original plan. So
They're
it's
gonna do
hard
it
to say
again on
that
the
both
re-air.
first because we essentially were trying
The
to reschedule
217
activities.
or 212,
Sorry,
14,
we
105,
will get,
705,
advance about the use of the presidential seal at
720,
political events.
number
Yeah,
20.
I haven't gotten. I did have a conversation about this. I
On
haven't
the
gotten greater
train,
clarity about what
Culver to Expo, Metro and 7.
guides the decision about whether or not.
Where
to
would you
use the
like to
seal.
do?
But what is clear and
But what
you
is
have
clear
clearly
is any
noticed, is that there
On
are some
high
occasions
alert.
where we use it, and some occasions where
We
we
have
don't.
no attorney.
I don't have a lot of insight into how that decision is made, but I'll see if I can get some more information.
The government's making your decisions for you.
Have further issue again.
Thank you, White House, for making their
So the president see this
decisions
as a
for
perhaps
them.
subtle or not so
We have to go over federal tort claims and accepting federal gifts.
No, I don't think it is.
The
I have to admit,
posse
I
committed
really
to slap
don't
a federal
know exactly
statute prohibiting the use of military devices in civilian law
You guys
enforcement.
asked me about it.
18 U.S.C. 1385. What's in
Even
your
then, I'm
wallet?
not really sure what goal that accomplishes, but you can.
Damages in some certain for injury to loss of property, personal injury, or death alleged
And what did
to
they
have
say?
occurred by the reason of the incident. The claim must be presented to the appropriate federal agency within 2 years after the claim accrues.
Mr. Trump's tactics
Failure to
as
completely
sort of
execute this
sourced out
form
policy.
or to supply the requested material within 2
Is
years.
that-
That's when the show ends. From the date of the claim
Well, I know that
accrued,
other
may
analysts
render
have
your
observed
claim
it doesn't appear to be a
invalid.
vote-getting strategy either.
How
But,
many days should they have to
Look,
complain?
for the strategy that they're engaged in, they're not looking for advice.
A claim is
from
being
me.
presented when it is received by the
and,
appropriate agency,
That's pretty evident
not when it's mailed.
from some of the strategies that they've chosen to pursue.
But they only have a
But,
few
I'll
days
let
because
him
we
run his
got here on the
campaign
29th, so
they've got 3 weeks left to try to
14.
execute whatever strategy
they would have
believe,
filed away.
is most
Bye.
likely to lead to success.
Duty of confidentiality and breach of patient
Look, I think,
confidentiality
like most Americans,
denied to
the president,
prevent
is interested
bankruptcy of the public
uh,
suing. You have
see
2
what happens
years
in this final
from
round.
2014 to prevent
There's
a
an
critical
opportunity for,
noncompliance. Please refer to our
each
website,
candidate
googledocs.com, for the rest
in
of
some
our
ways deliver a
disclosures.
closing argument. This will be the last major platform that both candidates
You got 2
have.
years to play.
That makes for an important moment.
Well, you
and,
got 10 days now.
the president, again, like most Americans who are following this election, and that's a lot of people, is interested to see what's going to happen.
Another issue, the emails.
Divorce.
That's
Turn off this
specific
autoplay.
to- There's still this constant release, this constant flow of
There's not really.
messages. Is that-
Today's show
is that
sponsored
an
by
indication that
this.
whenever the United
Everywhere you
States
wanted to be
forceful
with them.
response to this, to the Russian
We're
policy,
watching Divorce
does not have
live
its
on
desired
HBO.
effect? Or is there any connection or opportunity to that?
Yeah, but watching you,
Well,
so
there's a
it's
lot to
a-
that question.
it's a wash, you know?
Let me
You
start by
watching
saying
us, we watching you.
sort of evaluate what sort of response
You can't plan it if you're
may
making shows about
eventually
it.
be mobilized
Putin, don't say that.
with regard to the Russians and their
Anything's
efforts to undermine
possible.
our
We would
political
love to
system in
lose
cyberspace.
half of our income.
So I'm not, able to
So
speak
we're not
with
able
much
to get
specificity
visa.
about what actions have been taken, what actions have not been taken,
Immigrations, hello.
whether any actions have been taken. Those are just questions I can't get into.
Those are questions we can't get
What I'll
into.
say is that many of the releases are consistent
All
with
consistent.
the tactics.
All
that
come. Why
the
can't it be
intelligence
all
community of
come?
The United States has
All
concluded
consistently.
were directed by the Russian
We're
government,
directed by
and these kinds
Cool
of
it.
tactics are consistent with
We love
instructions
Cool
that
Whip. It's
typically would
good. White
require
toppings. We love white
the
toppings.
involvement of
Mozzarella,
senior
white
level
toppings.
officials in the Russian government.
On
And
our pizzas,
we
we
have
love white
seen
toppings.
Russia engage in
Russia
tactics in
engage
other democracies
other
to try
democracies.
to undermine
Undermine
in democratic institutions,
and democratic
primarily in Europe.
institutions.
So these kinds of things are, or these kinds of tactics are not
Kinds of tactics
necessarily new.
don't work. Reframing.
But what's
Someone
also
uploaded a
is that
video to our
people have a lot of
website.
confidence in our
We
system
want
of
the other
democracy
video
and
as
the
well.
durability of that system. If you think about our
With court
our
orders,
history of
histories.
carrying out elections in this country,
We admit that.
they've survived a civil war, multiple elections through 2
We're
world
helping the
wars,
subpoena process.
obviously a Cold War, and
We have an
their
anonymous
adversaries,
video.
or
Verizon support. Page to page. That's not an experience we've uploaded. We made it, you uploaded. Like to hear about it. Let us help the subpoena process get resolved and things back on track. How can I help you? JBE. Yeah, we admit that, but it's you. Who is Page Duke Page? Page Duke Page and his assignment editor at Fox News. I can usually be found taking pictures on my German Shepherd and watching Real Housewives and The View. I'm Page Duke Page. Hi, Page Duke Page. Thank you for tweeting us and NSA at Verizon. We appreciate it
one
very
of the
much.
things that we have tried to help
Is that
people
Emily
understand
too?
is
This is
that
page 6.
even though our world is
Even
more
though
connected through the internet than ever before,
through the internet,
it's very difficult
very
to
difficult.
hack the U.S. election system.
Amanda Duck,
System
18. We
we're not
appreciate it.
internet.
We appreciate your patience in uploading to our Facebook and YouTube, but apologize for the delay. Please DM us
Are
so that we can check the
decentralized.
order status for
And
you.
you've got states and
Yeah,
individual
somebody's
localities.
uploading pictures to our page. Why would they be uploading these pictures to our Facebook?
Online activities, generally speaking. I think
Maybe
well, I
they
guess
know what's
elections
going on and
is
they
a-
can help
Well, I'm glad
us
you clarified that because what I'm talking about is our
with our
election system.
Facebook account.
And that is the system
That is,
that
we
we
admit
want to make
that.
sure
We
that
admit
we are
that.
fortifying. And that is
We're
the
helping
system
you.
that people should have confidence in.
Who
With
uploaded
regard
these
to
videos and
cybersecurity, and with
pictures
regard to the
to our
willingness of
Facebook
Russia or
account?
other malevolent actors
Somebody
to try
hacked our
to
Facebook
engage in malicious activity in cyberspace, that's not
with
new.
these Sarah
All
Jessica Parker
organizations have had to deal
photos.
with that. And
Why would they
the
hack our
president has put
Facebook
forward his own cybersecurity strategies, including a significant budget increase that Republicans in Congress refuse to even talk
page?
about.
We admit
We
that.
believe there is more that Congress should do to invest in our cybersecurity efforts
Verizon
that
support
wouldn't just protect U.S.
and
government
Pasca. We would
networks, but
never
also,
want you to upload by
the
yourself.
cybersecurity of the country
To lose
more
you.
broadly.
I want
And
you to
there
make
are
sure that you
significant
get the
national
right
security and
support.
economic
It's the
consequences
cellular
to our
or
success,
landline service.
in that
AI.
endeavor. And
We
this
admit
administration
that.
continues to believe that's a priority. And I would expect that that's something that the president will spend some more time
It's just
talking
she's
about it,
vague. We don't know
even
what he's saying.
in his last 10 months in office.
It's very vague. We don't know what we're saying, really.
The
Vague.
United States have anything to do with that at all?
Well, my colleagues at the
Well,
State
my
Department,
colleagues
I know
at the NSA
suggestion
can
on the part
confirm
of
who
some
uploaded
has
it.
been that,
Maybe they'll help us
somehow
with
Secretary Kerry
the new
may have tried to
videos.
strong arm his Ecuadorian counterpart to undertake this action. Secretary Kerry said that was not true, and we saw a statement from the Ecuadorians
That was
earlier
not true.
today indicate that this is a decision that they made.
We have
on
a
their own.
hacker.
They have a sovereign foreign policy, and they made their own conclusion.
Someone's hacking
to
me with the
pursue
law.
this action against
This
Mr. Assange. And,
action.
that's
They're
a decision
uploading
that they've
Sarah
undertaken
Jessica
based on
Parker
their own
photos
conclusion about what's in their country's best interest.
and Fox News and CNN photos.
So again, just aside from Secretary Kerry, the position is
Who
that the
was
United States
doing
had
this?
nothing to do with that decision.
Well, again, I think the accusation was
Fox
made about
News,
Secretary
who's
Kerry.
doing
He
this?
said
Can
that
you
that
help
was not
us with
true.
this,
The State Department
please?
said that that was not true, and the Ecuadorians have said we did this because we
Twitter,
decided
we
it was the
love
right thing to
you.
do,
We
not
love
because anybody else
you.
told us to do it.
We love
So I think
Twitter.
Pretty open and shut case here. Okay, Kevin.
Thanks, Josh. If I could follow just a second. A spokesman for
Today's
the
show
Czech
sponsored
National
by
Police
Visa.
today
Everywhere you
announced
wanted
that
to
a
be
Russian
with
national
them.
was arrested in Prague for cyber attacks in the U.S. Are you aware
And
of
by
this report? Can you
Verizon.
tell me anything about this individual?
I am
Buy
aware
an
of your
LG
report.
V20
It is the subject
and get
of
an
ongoing
LG
law
Stylo
enforcement
2V
investigation, so I can't
for
discuss
$1
any of
a
the
month.
details my
create,
colleagues at the Department of
innovate,
Justice may be
and
able to give us
just be
more
you.
information about this
Only on
particular individual.
Verizon.
What I would say, though, I think the one thing I can say
The one
about
thing I
it
can
is,
say,
you might cite this
you
as
might
one
cite this.
example of
Someone's hacked
many
their account.
where the United States Department of Justice takes
Department
very
of
seriously
Justice.
the responsibility that
We have to
they
subpoena
have
all
to protect
pictures
the United States and our interests in
to
cyberspace.
find out what's going on
And,
for our
They
safety.
have gone after criminal networks.
Criminal
and they've even gone
networks.
after individuals acting on behalf of
You got
nation
it.
states to protect
We're
our
including the public
cybersecurity here
in
in
the
the United
show.
States. That's a vigorous effort that they've
Vigorous
undertaken,
effort.
and that's I think a clear sign that
That's
the
what they
Department
don't
of
know.
Justice is playing
What is he watching?
a vibrant role
They won't know till we watch it.
alongside
You know?
other
They don't know.
national security agencies in the United States government
They
to
don't
protect
know.
the American people and to protect our cybersecurity.
It's a leap too far afield to suggest that this is part of the proportional reaction to
Today's show sponsored by
Russian attacking
Verizon,
US.
the new
So,
Verizon plan for businesses.
I would
Unlimited
agree with my
text and
colleagues in the
talk,
Department of Justice
mobile
about the
hotspot,
decision that they made,
carryover data,
with
safety
regard
mode,
to
Mexico and
particular
Canada
individual.
calling,
This is
unlimited
a,
international
it's called law
messaging,
enforcement decision,
data
law
boost,
enforcement
and
actions that are
shareable
taken
data.
independent of any sort of
Only
political,
on Verizon, new plan
interference.
for businesses.
Just a little bit more here about concerns about escalation. I think there might
Tonight
be
on
at least
TV Guide,
some
we're
concern
watching
before
you
we
as
talk
well.
about that.
Superstore on
If there is a
NBC,
proportional
Dog
response
Adoption
that the
Day
Russians
at
will
8
send
p.m.
to attack on this, how big of
New
a concern
parents
is that
Cheyenne
for
and Bo
United States
fight,
government?
I think it's an entirely
prompting Amy and
And I
Glenn
think
to
it
make a video,
exposes-
give them
you've
advice
uncovered
in very
here
different
one of the
forms,
significant
and
challenges that
upload photo
policymakers
hacks.
face
Meanwhile, Mateo and
in
Jonah
dealing
oversee
with
dog
cyber
adoptions
policy.
at the
The
store,
rules of
and
the road
Garnett taunts Dina when she refuses to adjust his time card. Superstore only on
in
NBC
large
tonight.
part are not well established, and that makes it difficult.
Chicago Med
It's
at
hard to draw these
9.
kinds of
Extreme
analogies. They're very
measures.
imperfect, but one example, might be, there are rules
No, they're all
that guide,
here. They're
freedom
all
of
here.
navigation of U.S. ships. So we've talked about how in the South
They're
China
all
Sea, for
here.
example, the United
Yeah,
States,
everything's here.
on several occasions,
It's
had
all
freedom
here.
of
Trust
navigation
me.
operations to signal
To signal
or to send a signal
or to send a signal.
the willingness of the United States
The willingness.
to
You've
fly,
got Sarah
sail, and
Jessica
operate
Parker.
in international waters. And that's a
You got
well-established
Sabina. Divorce.
that even though it might be occasionally irritating to some other
Yeah,
countries,
in the city bank.
it's a norm that everybody
We have some questions.
acknowledges
Acknowledge.
is one that should be followed.
We're inviting the public to the
And
show.
when there's a violation of some of those well-established norms, like
This
what
has
Russia
to
has done
affect
in Ukraine,
everybody.
for example, that's something that the international community
Tonight
acknowledges as a
on
problem and
Thursday
acknowledges
Night Football, Chicago Bears and Green Bay
internationally
Packers. Bears at
organized response.
Packers. Tonight on
Those clear
CBS.
lines, those clear norms are not as well established.
It's got to be fun for everyone.
Technology is
you know?
so new, and our habits for interacting
It's
in
got to
that
be fun.
realm are
For Supergirl, too.
not well established.
Well
That's why
established.
the G20, the president actually has tried to lead a
Has
discussion among
tried.
other world leaders
They've got it.
about trying to establish
trying.
some of these rules.
It's
of the road,
Ashton Kutcher.
to try to establish some
I'm the
norms
other
among the 20
Ashton.
largest economies of the world about what's acceptable in cyberspace
I'm Ashton.
and what's not.
I'm asking questions.
What's an appropriate response? This is something that's that we've made some progress
That we've
on.
made some mistakes.
You heard Prime Minister Xi
You've heard.
when he was here.
The
at
chair fell back.
ago, indicate
Indicate
a specific commitment,
specific
about
commitment.
not using
Behind us is a specific commitment,
particular
particular
cyber strategies
cyber strategies
that are
that
funded
are
by the Chinese government.
the Chinese
To steal
government
secrets
to
that could
steal
be
secrets
used to advantage
to
in
advance
an economic context
An
to Chinese
economic
business.
business.
He acknowledged that that's
He
something that
acknowledged
the
it's a
Chinese government
specific behind us.
did not do. And
It's not new.
that represents
That
was an important
represents
step that may not seem
a
like
step
much, but
on
that
the
actually does establish
June
a pretty
8th,
important norm
210, important
and does
role.
guide
Guide
the behavior
behavior
United States and China
and the
cyberspace. And
sorriness
that's
of a
good
waiver
thing.
request.
There's more work along those
There's
lines.
more
that needs
work
to be
along the
done.
line. The chair fell.
And this will establish
This will a step
road will
on
be
the
an important
210.
national security priority of the next
The
president.
chair fell.
Let me ask you about
Ah.
the new actions to spur competition in the airline industry. I remember back
Tonight
in
on
April,
Grey's
the president,
Anatomy, both sides
had an
now.
executive order,
Meredith and Billy
on the,
clash
at the
when the
IDS,
chair falls
for
over and a
refunds,
pervert
for
the
delayed
same
packing,
liver
for
for
example,
different patients
making
who
the
need
airline market fairer and
transplants.
more
Meanwhile, a bewildered Owen seeks guidance when he babysits Harriet, and Amelia is not sure how to share some important news with Owen. Tonight on Grey's Anatomy on ABC.
This is going to lead to increased costs. What's your response to that?
Victorious
Our
tonight
response
at
to that is
9. A baby's biological parents
airlines
are
should not
focused
use
on a search by Jake
the
and Julia.
requirement to treat their
Meanwhile, a
passengers fairly
terrible chair-foul
as an
incident
excuse
may
to
have
further
inspired a
jack up
heated
prices.
interview with the specific
Again, I don't
situation
think
on
there's anything
LHL, and the truth
This has
about
been anything but
Sarah
party politics.
and Jake's
I
relationship
think
is revealed
most
to
Americans
Oscar
believe that the
tonight on
airlines
ABC
to whom they pay significant sums of money to help them get places
to help them get
should treat them
places.
fairly in return.
Tonight on The Good Place on
and
NBC,
there is an
the
important
eternal
role for the
Shrek.
United States government to play to
Janet
ensure
guides
that
Eleanor
the
and
interests of
Sheedy
consumers
on a
and the interests of
quest.
people who are
Meanwhile,
using our commercial
Tahani
aviation system in
tries
the
to show
United States
Michael how
are
much
treated
he's
fairly by the
appreciated.
companies
The Good
who
Place tonight on
make a substantial
NBC.
profit by operating in this market.
The chair
U.S.
fell
airlines are making
Oh,
good money.
and good
That's
money.
a testament to the
A
business practice.
testament
It's a testament to
of
the
specific
innovation that we
situations.
have seen. Many of them pursue.
Many of them pursue.
So there's nobody
There's nobody
that I can think of that isn't
except
rooting for their
Cool Whip,
success. We all want
white
an aviation
toppings
system
on pizzas
that functions effectively, that serves the
that serves
needs of the American
the
people.
needs of the American people.
Our quality of
Our
life and our
equality
economy depend on that.
depend on that.
But we also have this
We've also
sense
have
that those airlines,
those
as
airlines
they're performing that service,
performing
and as
that
they're making a
service.
substantial profit,
Someone's
treat their
uploading
customers
to our
fairly.
Facebook
And that
account.
certainly is something that the U.S. government's prepared to
U.S.
enforce.
government is doing
Lastly,
it.
I want to ask you
Yeah,
about
we agree.
the Project Veritas videos
We have
that
that thought.
have been making the rounds.
Verizon
late.
support,
Does the White House have
email
any reaction
support.
to the dismissal
DJAX
or
3.
severance
Do
of
you
two
have
federal
access to
Democratic
Wi-Fi?
operatives after the release
That
of the
helps
latest
in
Project
saving your data
Veritas
allowance
videos
too.
in particular?
What make and model phone do
Drawing
you
attention
have?
to Robert
TW
Kramer,
is
a
now
convicted felon
Spectrum.
who visited the White House, according to reports, 300
Yeah, thank you, DJAX. Who is
times, also met
DJAX?
personally with the president some 47 times.
No more
since his impeachment
toppings. Boss
in
up.
June of this year.
Well,
What does that mean?
I've
No
been
more.
asked about
Oh, no more toppings.
videos that have come from this
Oh, I got it.
in
Okay.
the past, and each time
Yeah,
I've
we have to
tried
edit that. We can't say that. This is a PG show.
urge people to take those reports,
Take
not
those
at face
reports.
value, and not just with a grain of salt, but maybe even all.
Today's show is
facts,
sponsored by Bristol Myers
because-
Squibb
despite
and
what the
Bayer.
name might suggest.
Is that the report? Yeah, that's the
These
report.
videos have not often
The
revealed the truth.
pharmaceutical reports.
So
Today's show is sponsored by Bayer and Bristol Myers Squibb.
yeah, and so that is true.
That is true.
And,
They've
so
uploaded a
that's why
video
I'm
to our
reluctant to
YouTube
comment
page.
directly on the videos themselves. I think
We have a
there is
right foot
principle,
shop.
though, that I will give voice to, which is I know
Explaining
there
our
was a
YouTube hat.
suggestion, in some of these reports that it might be a clever
Today's show is
organizing
sponsored by
tactic or a
Visa.
clever,
Everywhere you wanted to
political
be with
tactic
them.
to try to incite violence at political rallies. That's
Get
that
pre-approved
is entirely
today.
inconsistent with the president's view about
The
community
president's view
organizing and waging a vigorous
and
campaign.
waging a
that
vigorous campaign.
We should attempt.
We should
and
attempt.
We should have so much
We should have
confidence
so
in
much
the power,
confidence
of our
in the
persuasion
power.
and in our arguments that we shouldn't
It's
have to
the
resort to
beginning.
violence. And in fact, it is completely inappropriate.
It's completely
to resort to
inappropriate.
violence to advance a political goal.
A
And,
political goal.
that certainly is a principle that the president strongly believes in.
As far as Kramer's concerned, with all those visits here to the White House in particular, I'm wondering, is that
Today's
a
show is sponsored by
reflection of the
Obsessed.
standards of the Obama White House that a guy like that, who, at least according to the videos, admittedly, these videos are in some dispute in some circles, seems to be
Why would they be
suggesting voter fraud,
obsessed about?
a person who is a convicted felon, who is an often frequent visitor here at the White House.
We're diagnosed with
reflection
a
of
mental
something
disorder. I mean,
The
what?
standards of this White
What
House,
part of we're
that's the type of
diagnosed
person
don't they
that's here, that's what it
understand?
is.
And I think at this point,
That's
I would
how we
urge
think.
extreme
We
caution
think
and draw
brilliantly.
conclusions about anybody's character
We
based
have
on a
psychosis.
few hours of having looked at this video,
Verizon
because
support.
time and time and time again, information that's
Tiffle
released by
Best.
this information, by
We
this,
want you to remember
organization,
psychosis
is,
means you might misinterpret the way we
different than
think.
initial
We are the
report.
best by giving you the best connection. What's your zip code? How long have you had the issues? KH, we're sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb, a pharmaceutical company.
That's correct.
Yeah, you can't confuse your thoughts.
I don't know in how much
It
detail
might be
they were able to
psychosis.
discuss it. We'll see if we can get you some more information about the nature of their discussions.
The nature
on
of this
issue.
discussion.
But I don't have an update for you in terms of
Chair
our
Fell.
expectations. The president has tasked
president
his
has
team with a rather ambitious goal, which is to attempt to complete TTIP negotiations by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
I know that they're
Chair Fell.
industry. I suspect they're being significantly subsidized
Yeah,
by
suspect. There is a
Office of the United
suspect
States
here.
Trade Representative. I know
There's a lot of
individuals who work in
suspects
that
in the
office
room.
have been logging some significant miles in the air. as they
Miles in
travel
the air.
to work
Chair
on these
Fell.
negotiations. And they're working hard to
They're working
try to
hard.
meet the ambitious goal that the president's laid out. But
But
you know, as is the case with all of these sorts
the
of
case with all
broad
of these,
international agreements, nothing's agreed to until everything's agreed.
yeah,
Give you a
we
good
might
status
not
update,
order a double sandwich
other than
today.
to say that ambitious
$4.
goal remains in place, and those who have
He
been
told us to get it
tasked
like
by the
Tim
President of the United
Hortons.
States to try to achieve that goal
We skip
are working
Krispy
hard
Kremes and we
to fulfill
skip
the mission
2
that the President's given.
sandwiches.
Just to put a little bit
And we
finer
skip
point on
Kathy
it,
at
you
Rite
just said
Aid.
nothing's agreed to.
We
Tell
just
me
said
what's
it
agreed
here in
to.
pink
There
shorts.
is one train of thought that, in an attempt to try to get
It is your
closure
one train of
this
thought.
year or in this administration, that the TTIP
Verizon support. Where's Nancy Mace?
could be closed out.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
Issues to
Peter and
negotiate
Forensic
later.
File have changed their lineup with HLN.
At
Make
this point, I
sure
don't
you're
wanna
billed
provide,
correctly. DM us so that
play-by-play,
we can
of the
further
negotiating
assist you.
efforts.
JB.
I want to give them the opportunity to consider a range of
Forensic Files
options
is at
that
11
they'll
now.
pursue.
But they need to
The,
change
Ambassador
the
Froman
radio
and those
display
on his
because
staff
I
will
thought
pursue
Nancy Grace was on.
best serves the interests of the United States. And I wouldn't handicap
No,
at this
Nancy
point what the
Mace
likely
is a
outcome
soul coaching, energy healing,
other than
Whole
to
Foods
say the
advocate,
President has asked
artist,
Ambassador
musician,
Froman to
graphic
pursue an
designer,
ambitious
with
goal.
nature lover, good stuff for the body
No,
and
frankly, if it's
mind
one that
and
they
the
will be able to
spirit.
achieve.
She's from
But
New
they
York
are certainly,
State. Thank you for
putting
tweeting
the time and
Verizon and the
effort,
NSA.
in pursuit of it.
Yeah,
And
thank
we'll
you for
just have to see.
tweeting us.
The reason that I can't
We'll make sure we get.
offer complete
to the
assurance
bottom
this is
of
something
this.
that will be achieved.
We're
is
watching
Ambassador Froman's
Divorce
only
on
going to
HBO.
agree to something that
What else could
is in
happen?
the best interest of the U.S.
A
economy.
ring?
So this is not a
So
situation
don't
where
say
the United States
that.
is prepared to take the first deal that
That's inappropriate
the Americans put on
language
the table.
here.
This is something that will
We
be
love jewelry.
negotiated
Yeah,
rigorously.
but we're sponsored by
Again, the
Visa.
decision about whether or not to accept
Everywhere
this
you
deal
wanted to be
will not
with
be
them.
based on the president laying out an ambitious goal.
We
It
thank
will be
Visa very
based on
much.
a clear-eyed assessment about
For your
whether or not it
sponsorship.
serves the interests of the American people and would stand to benefit the U.S.
Why would they sponsor us if it wasn't true?
Fine.
The Justice Department says they'll be dispatching fewer trained poll observers because of the Supreme Court decision on the Voting Rights
Verizon
Act.
support.
Is the
Kelly
White House
Kimano.
concerned about
Oh
the
no.
effect of
This would certainly mean too.
I hadn't heard that announcement. From
If
the
I
Department of
was,
Justice.
I don't, or I do, in a similar situation, I can fix this. I plan programming the 2017 season of the next Super Bowl. For this, you, please follow us and send us a DM, JD.
The president retains
Well, who is Kelly
very high
Kimono?
in
Rose on a couch,
the
probably.
ability of our
Texas
election
Tech
system
Alumni,
to
2012.
function effectively.
Hello, Kelly Londa. Thank you for
A
tweeting Verizon
result
and
that
the
reflects
NSA.
the will of the American people. The president's also spoken at
The
length
president's
about
also
his,
spoken. Chair Fell.
disappointment, that there has been an effort
That there has been
by Republicans
By
in states across
Republicans.
the country and some Republicans in Congress
some Republicans
to make it harder for some
to make it
citizens
harder,
to make it harder
to make it
for
harder.
veterans,
Veterans,
some elderly voters,
elderly workers.
and yes, some
And
college
yes.
students and minority voters as well.
We're in a rear end
cast a ballot,
accident. Who's
even
behind
though they're
us?
eligible to do so.
Yeah, this is
And,
enterprise.
The president believes we should be making our election system easier for people to participate in.
Easier
not
to participate.
direct barriers that might make it
Direct
harder for them
barriers.
to cast a ballot. If
We
they're
just been
eligible.
a Thursday accident.
Those frustrations aside,
Those
the
frustrations.
president does have confidence that
We can't have two
whatever the
sandwiches.
outcome is on November 8th,
Miss Doubleday,
will be
we
an
cannot have two
accurate reflection of
sandwiches.
the,
That does it for our show
US
today.
electorate.
Remember, no double sandwiches.
democratic process
And
electoral system. But is
Verizon,
the White House or the president
government,
concerned in any
business,
way
and
about
personal
voter intimidation?
technology
There's always
solutions.
something that on the
Chair
eve
Fell.
of a hard-fought election that we are aware of. Again,
We
we
are
want